right, Creighton basketball tonight. Hosts Hell in a Cell against UConn. It's always fun when these two teams get together. And we're happy for our next guest. Some are calling him the preeminent fan of Creighton basketball these days, Frank Caliendo, who will get to experience Dollar Beer Night for the first time, I think. Hello, Frank. Good to talk to you again. How are you?
Great. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Are you Irish now? What happened?
I'm not sure. I think it's Scottish. I'm not sure where it came from.
How excited would Scottish Frank Caliendo be for Dollar Beer Night in Omaha tonight?
It's going to be a great time. I don't know. I don't drink, so I think it's going to be interesting.
Well, you'll enjoy the views. You know, just the general sights and sounds.
Yeah. See if the people drinking the dollar beers get more excited than Dan Hurley. So we'll see.
Oh yeah.
Switch.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Okay, so something that we discussed during the show, we were reimagining or somebody else was reimagining the Super Bowl halftime show because they don't like what's currently going on in the halftime show or whatever. And somebody said that they should get comedians up there. If they asked you to do the Super Bowl halftime show, would you do it?
It's the worst idea ever.
That's what I said.
You have to have silence to be able to do comedy. So you could never get that stadium silent. Some people are always going to be talking. So comedy, you need the silence for timing. So you need, I think it was, wasn't it, what's his name from FS1?
Klatt.
Joel Klatt, yeah. I'd seen that, and I was like, no. Because he had said Nate Bargatze, and I'm like, as great and as huge as Nate Bargatze is, top 5 comedian probably in the country, maybe the world right now, it's music is different than stand-up. It's like opening for a band. If you open for a band, people are in the mood for music. It's 10 times as hard to try and do comedy before that. I once did, I attempted stand-up comedy before a Bucks game, and at halftime at a Bucks game, and I'm from Milwaukee. It was okay. It was great for the situation. I still would compare it as like not good. I would say compared to everything else. I got 7 minutes in. I had to do 10 minutes. I got 7 minutes in. They said, do whatever you want. I got 7 minutes in. I got a good enough laugh, but I'm like, this is what I end on. And I went to the t-shirt cannon and started shooting t-shirts and doing voices while shooting the t-shirt. Because it was one of those things where I was just like, it's not going to get better than this. 3 more minutes. I was doing Barkley talking about some of the Bucks and stuff like that. And, those types of voices. And I was like, this has worked well enough. Okay. Now, just get out of here. So the getaway car was there, and I started launching t-shirts with Jim Paschke, who was the play-by-play guy for the Bucks for 30 years, even since I was a kid. So 40 years. If I was like 10, so I'm doing math, guys.
Yeah.
But it's I think it's just an awful idea. I mean, somebody that big might want to do it, but the harm you could do to yourself. I mean, you get huge,
like exposure.
The thing is, if you have multiple great Netflix specials and you're famous enough, maybe you're bulletproof in that situation.
Yeah.
But you know how hard it is to do comedy at the Oscars or the Golden Globes or something like that. Imagine doing it with nobody listening.
Yeah.
Or even if 20% of the people are going to get food, going to the bathroom. I just see this horrific.
It feels too big. Like it's not there. There's something about comedy that is, you're up close and personal. Like you're in the middle of a football field or even a basketball court, and you're like kind of far away from people. And I don't know. It does not feel like the right direction to go.
There's no real energy coming back at you. Plus,
right,
the reverb in the stadium like that for the. When you're talking, there'd be slight echo types of stuff. Even with the best sound, you'd hear a little bit of something. It's when people hear you speak, by the time it gets out to the speakers, your mouth is closed and moving on to the next thing. So your timing, it's just really hard. I mean, it would be a great idea if it were more intimate, but somebody will probably try it because they'll want to see if they can pull it off someday. But I also see it as, you'd have to get Nate would be a guy because you have to get a trustworthy comedian. Most of the giant name comedians are not going to be somebody that you trust with that. So,
No.
that's, I think it's, in the words of Charles Barkley, a terrible idea.
Does not seem to be the direction that we're headed, it seems. But I'm glad that you had the T-shirt cannon as your backup at the Bucks game that one time. That's
not only did I have it as my backup, I had it as my beginning of my plan. That was at the top of the list.
It's like if I'm not getting anything in 2 minutes, I'm going straight to the T-shirt cannon.
Yeah, and it's listen, like I said, it went way better than I'd expected. I did not, but still wasn't great. It's one of those things where I compare it to something else. Anything. It's just the deal with comedy is a controlled environment is always best. And I would say the Super Bowl, any sporting event is not a controlled environment for comedy. It's great for the setup for the sport, and it's a pretty good setup for music, but I don't think it's good for comedy.
Have you ever seen up close and personal? You've been to a lot of basketball games. The talents of tonight's halftime act in Omaha, Red Panda.
No, what does Red Panda do?
Okay, so Red Panda, she's this woman, and she sits atop a very tall unicycle. And
yes, I think I have seen.
Yes, someone throws her bowls, and then she catches the bowls, and then she puts them on her foot before flipping them up on top of her head in a stack.
Yeah. That's usually, I didn't know that was the name of the act, Red Panda, her name.
Yes.
But that's usually what I refer to as me not doing as well as at the Bucks game.
She brings down the house every time.
It's incredible. I mean, it's great. Little kids get it, old people, everybody is for it. I mean, it's perfect for that kind of thing. There's like an amazing ooh.
Right.
There's no oohs in comedy unless it's really bad and you shouldn't have said it.
So they offered me. I'm the you'll see this tonight. By the way, are you? Well, we can talk about this later. So I'm like the in-house MC guy for the Creighton basketball game. So you'll be seeing a lot of me tonight. And so they were like, "Hey, do you want to throw the bowls to Red Panda?" And I was like, well, that's kind of a lot of pressure, but sure. So that's going to be part of my responsibilities tonight. How do you think it'll go?
Do you get any warm up? Do you get any Red Panda warm up?
I don't know. I hope to maybe meet her before, and we can maybe discuss some things, lay out a game plan.
What if they tell you don't look Red Panda in the eye?
Terrifying.
Even when you're throwing the bowls, you can't make eye contact.
I don't know. I'm already kind of nervous. I think that would send me over the edge.
Oh, I think you're the one who gets booed. I mean, I can't see. I don't see that as a Steven Ashworth lob to calc. I don't see that.
No,
you guys don't have that kind of. This is 2 years for those guys together. You get second year is where you build your rapport.
Exactly.
You and Red Panda. The Trash Panda. This is not. Not directed toward the act at all, which was actually from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right. Hey, how did you now become the Creighton basketball fan? How did this happen? And it's great. I love it, by the way. But how did it happen?
Visit last year, and I just wanted to see what it was all about because I'd always heard about Creighton. Arizona has a lot of recruits and stuff like that. I got friends that played high school, college basketball and stuff like that. So people always talk about Creighton as being one of those teams. And I'd watched the last few years of Creighton. And I was like, why don't I go here and see what it's all about? And then I got there, and I've been around some other college programs. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, it's a machine. The efficiency and the attention to detail. I remember they're college kids, so you're going to screw up, right? I mean, it's about training and training muscles, training actions, training all sorts of stuff. And you don't get what you want. And when somebody puts pressure on you, whether it's the crowd watching or the other team with crazy, high level defense. And in the Big East, there's a lot of contact. You should see the stuff they do. And maybe you have seen the stuff that they work on practicing going against the contact. I mean,
they're throwing everything at them.
And literally, it's like Bulls throwing at Red Panda, not up to Red.
Catch this, Red Panda. Bet you
it's machine gun fire. I mean, it's so. I just I just took to it, and I was like, I don't know. And it was with Mac, and I just really got on Mac because rarely do you have a coach that can coach, also be great with the media, and also be like a GM of the team.
Yeah.
So he's filling a lot of roles that I just most coaches can do. Lower level coaches can do one, maybe higher level coaches do two, and there's probably very few people that can do three. And he's just a stand up guy. College basketball is dirty, man. It's ugly, and it's one of those things when people ask me, well, why didn't Mac is such a great coach? Why didn't he get this guy or that guy? I go, because at Creighton you have to go to class. Not everybody wants to go to class. I mean, it's education is why you're there. So some people just aren't going to go to school there. That's just some kids just want to play basketball, and some want a great education. Some kids go to Yale and play basketball there that could play at a different level of basketball. But Creighton's kind of a great combination of you get a degree at Creighton and you play basketball there. People, I don't know somebody who wouldn't want to hire somebody that graduated from Creighton and played on the basketball team, because you're like, if you know anything about what's going on there, that's education, and you're growing up, in athletics as a team. So it's just the level. My son is with me, and he brought a friend this time. He's like, I can't believe the culture. Like, everybody jokes, players and coaches always talk about culture and how great the culture is. It's actually there at Creighton, and I just had never seen anything like it, and just thought it was great.
So,
and Mac likes me because I come up to about his belly button.
Right. So that was the funny part of yesterday when you go to practice, and then Mac is doing his he's getting ready to do his regular media before the game, and he's like, "Hey, I'd like to introduce you to my friend Frank Caliendo," and then you go on to have a conversation with yourself with like Stephen A. Smith and Charles Barkley, and I think you threw some Trump in there. Was that planned, that you were going to just rip off some stuff?
He said he might do something, and then with Mac, that usually means he's going to do something. So I didn't plan. I didn't really technically plan. I was going to talk to the team, which I did, and did some jokes and bits for the team. I did my beginning of my Mac impression, where my shoulders get up to about my ears. Unfortunately, I need to stand on a box
for scale.
Oh my God! Yeah, it was Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was pretty ridiculous. It was Ant-Man with the Pym particles in forward and reverse. It was the giant Ant-Man and little Ant-Man. So, and then I did my Derek Kellogg walking impression for the team, my Ryan Miller. For people who don't know, Derek Kellogg looks like somebody is attacking his knees with Red Panda's plates. It looks like, it's not bow-legged. It's like it's like warped bow-legged. It's just a crazy thing. And then he saw me do it. I saw him stretching his legs later. He's like, I got it.
He's self-conscious about it now.
Yeah. And then I did my Ryan Miller doing, game film, which is Ryan Miller, which is Mason Miller's uncle and Mike Miller's brother. And just, he mumbles everything. And I did that for the team. Next. And the team went crazy for that. And so, it was fun. And then I went to a dinner with the Hoke family.
Nice.
Last night. Everybody, it was a team dinner that I invited myself to. And my new nickname. Have you heard about my new nickname for Steven Ashworth? He hates it.
I have not.
Boss Baby.
Hey, be careful, man, because that guy he is tormenting people around the Big East right now.
He's incredible. No, I actually talk to Ash all the time. I text Ash. It's funny because I text Ashworth weekly, maybe a couple times a week. Isaac Trout, anytime he has a multiple 3-point game, I message him on Instagram. Calc, I stay away from. He just, even though he's a gentle giant, he just scares me. The wingspan, I feel like he could hit me from far away. I live in Tempe, Arizona, so Jemiah Neal came from ASU, so it's great to see him, blowing up here in Omaha. That's another little treat and another correlation, I guess, or one of the strings tied to the board going across the board for the how does this all come together type of thing. So I was trying to figure out words. I didn't have them. I've been up since early this morning. So
you're a part of the team now. That's the point, I think.
I told Mac, he didn't reply to me because he probably doesn't want to do it. I said, next year in a game that that you don't think is as competitive, I want to be a team manager and bring out seats to people, chairs to the players.
Nice.
I want to do that. I think that would be fun, but it's hard because then if you're struggling and not playing as well as you want, then Caliendo's to blame for the problem.
Hey, if you want to throw the Bulls to Red Panda tonight, you could be my guest too. That's all.
No, you're trying to get out of it, and I have zero interest in it. So we tried to do the half court shot thing yesterday. I haven't tried to take a half court shot, a big court, maybe since high school. I'm 51. I would have got. It was embarrassing. I couldn't get the ball to the free throw line. I mean, it's just trying to shoot it like you run up and do like a super long layup type of thing. No chance. I should have gone with the two-hand, try to, double flick.
Push it. Yeah.
Like a two-hand chest pass type of thing. But I don't think it would have gone there either. I'm going to blame a little bit of restrictive clothing that wasn't that restrictive, but I'm going to really blame muscles that don't work at all anymore. I could not believe how I wasn't even, it was embarrassingly bad.
Well, I'm glad we didn't roll you out there for the half court shootout tonight, because dollar beer night, they would have booed you out of there probably.
Oh, I should have been booed. I should have been. And my son, he was getting kind of close, and his friend, they both got kind of close, but I think they had to go run. I just quit doing it halfway through. I was like, I'm not doing this. This is dumb. What a terrible idea.
How did you end up at the game in Vegas, by the way, where they put you on TV and the whole thing?
We just went there because I told Mac, hey, we bought some tickets. And it's like, hey, we're going to go see out there. We wanted to see a couple of the other teams too. I actually hung out with Mac the night before. And, I think it was right after Ashworth got injured.
He got hurt in the Nebraska game right before that. Yep.
Yeah. So he was, that's played San Diego State. And it was just different without Steven. So, and I think Isaacs was probably playing a little bit sore too. So, I don't know what the injury was there, but there was lots going on. But we just wanted to see the NIL tournament to see what it was all about, get out there, and they had, a lot of fun with that. And, I live in Phoenix, so it's a 4.5 hour drive to get out there. So we just zipped out there.
That's awesome.
And came back.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoy the game tonight. I know you've been to Omaha for a couple of them. This will be, it's a late night tip. It'll be pretty intense in there. It'll be rolling.
Yeah, and last time I sat in a suite. This time Mac got a seat near the court, so I'm scared to say the least. But looking forward to it. Now I'm going to be back I'm actually going to be back in Omaha.
May, right?
It's changed because the club is moving and they had some issues. So it was supposed to be the first week of May. It's going to be April. I want to do the one last time in this club, April 17th. So April 16th, I'm at the Funny Bone in Kansas City. And then April 17th. So it's Wednesday, April 16th at the Funny Bone in Kansas City. And then Omaha Funny Bone here in Omaha on April 17th, which is the Thursday. And I think it's omaha.funnybone.com.
Very good. Well, we'll chat before we do that then. How about that?
Yeah, and I'll see you tonight. I'm not sure. He had seats. Mac had seats for us, and then he's like, I got some better ones for you. So I was like, I'll take them.
I'm just saying, you're going to be out there. Don't be surprised if a bald guy and a camera come visit you at some point. That's all I got to say.
Oh, you were asking, too, about you have to go to break. I'll do this real quick.
Go ahead.
The TBS thing. It was funny because my son's friend was telling me, like, yeah, when you're on TBS, like, people were getting mad at you. I'm like, why? Just because I was, being my normal idiot self? He goes, no, they had you on the screen the whole time while the game was going on. I'm like, I would have been mad at that too. I want to watch college basketball. I thought they had me in a small square. So
you're like on there during the play, like full screen.
5 minutes. Like they talked to me first, which was great, as far as PR and stuff like that. And, I guess any PR is good PR in some ways, but it's one of those types of things where I was going, I didn't know I was full screen until then because I don't watch anything I do because it's embarrassing.
Frank,
I'm not Red Panda, man.
No, it takes a special kind of person to do that. Frank, you're the man. We'll see you tonight. Enjoy the game.
Awesome. Talk soon.
That is Frank Caliendo, close personal friend of Josh Odson and of many.
Many, yeah. It makes me feel good that
he's texting Steven Ashworth after
he
games.
Treats the players the way I treat him.
And back in town at the Funny Bone for April 17th.
Hey, did you see Tommy Boy's on? That's a pretty funny one. What do you think?
So good. So good. All right. That's fun as always. And we'll make this a recurring thing as we usually do. We'll be back in a couple months.
Yeah, I mean, April's right around the corner.
And he'll enjoy some good old-fashioned hate tonight in Omaha. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.